Hello, blogging friends. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Let me pull up the chat here. I hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday. My background looks really barren without all my plants, huh? I took them all into the kitchen for a bath. All right. Here we are. All right. I hope you guys are ready to talk all about blog links today. So we're doing internal and external blog links 101 today. We're going to be talking all about linking out from your blog to other websites, and then internal linking from your blog to another place on your blog. Quick note, this is not about getting other blogs to link to your blog. That is called backlink building, and that's a whole nother can of worms. You should have some sort of backlink building strategy, but that is a whole nother topic. So, first thing I want to talk to you guys about are Dofollow and Nofollow links. This is the sort of thing that in the very beginning, it's like so tech jargony that it can really overwhelm new bloggers. I 100% guarantee that if this is sounding totally foreign, like a different language to you right now, and it's overwhelming, it won't always feel this way. I super promise. That's a really important thing to keep in mind. Well, when it comes to blogging in general, but especially with SEO, I feel like SEO is kind of like math, where there's this notion that like you either have a math brain for math or you don't. I feel like there's this notion out there that you either get SEO or you don't, like you're either naturally good at it or you're not. That's not true. It's 100% learnable. I super promise. So if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by this information, don't worry, you will get it. Eventually, it won't feel overwhelming. And the more you expose yourself to it, like each time you expose yourself to it and kind of get wrist deep in the topic, you are soaking up some of that information, right? And then the next time you touch it, it won't feel so foreign. Okay, so do follow and no follow links. A do follow link is when you link out to a website. So here, let me pull up. Actually, let me share my screen with you guys. So we're over here in a blog post in WordPress. And let's say, check out this awesome article by moz.com. Okay. We're writing some sort of blog post about SEO and we want to link out to moz.com. And because they're a highly reputable source, they give really good information. We want to pass some of our link juice, which is like blogging street cred, over to Moz.com. We're pretty much giving Moz.com our nod of approval. So Google's looking at us and they're like, hey, Blog Feedy, what do you think about Moz.com? By making the link a do follow link, we're telling Google we think they're great and we think that they are a reputable source. We're giving them our nod of approval, and thus we pass some of our link juice to them. It boosts their SEO a little bit when a non-spammy, non-shady site links out to them with a do follow link. Good morning, Amy. How are you? Okay, so we're going to select the moz.com and press Control K or Command K to turn it into a hyperlink. And that works in almost every program. There are a few places it doesn't work. Pretty much anywhere Control K or Command K will work. And so we put in their address where it says type your search or type URL. Hi, Janet. Good morning. How are you? https:// And then you see down here, there's these little toggle buttons. One of them says open a new tab. One of them says search engines should ignore this link, mark as no follow. And one of them says this is a sponsored link or advert, mark as sponsored. We'll go over those in a minute. So we don't want to mark it as no follow. And when we don't mark it as no follow, it will automatically make it a do follow link. Hi, Rashonda. Good morning. Oh, I'm good, Janet. Thank you for asking. I'm happy to be here. Y'all know me when I'm live on camera. I'm happy. Okay. However, we do, as far as I'm concerned, all links should open in a new tab. The only time I don't do this is on sales pages. The only time I don't do this is on sales pages. So on your sales page, the only link out you should have should be to your checkout. And I don't have them open in a new tab. That is the only time. I think it's a better user experience. Even if I'm linking out to my blog post, oftentimes they're not done reading that blog post. I know. Amy says that's a pretty controversial statement there, Kelly. I know. Oh, I'm aware. But that's what I think as far as user experience. I think it should always link out to or open up in a new window. It's just a better user experience, right? One, especially if it's an external link, you don't want them to navigate away from your blog and never come back. But two, like I said, they're not done reading your blog post, right? And we'll talk more about the ramifications about that and why Amy says it's a controversial topic. It is. There's good reason. I'll present you with all the facts. You decide for yourself. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to click this toggle button that says open in new tab, and then we're going to click submit, and we've turned it into a hyperlink. Now, what I want to do is edit as HTML so I can show you guys what happened here. Alrighty, so this is what it looks like as HTML. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to edit visually, and I'm going to change this to a nofollow link just for the sake of this demonstration. And then I'm going to edit as HTML again. And you can see it added into the code, nofollow. That tells Google, well, all search engines, but it tells Google, no, I do not pass my link juice to this. I do not give it my nod of approval. I do not like its street cred. But you have some reason to link out to it. And there's a few reasons why you might do that. Yeah, that lets Google know that you're linking out to this, but you don't want to pass your link juice to it. I'm gonna go back here. So that's a nofollow link. And then if you have an affiliate link, edit visually, you have to mark it as sponsored and you have to mark it as nofollow. And WordPress has done a very handy little thing where when you mark it as sponsored, you push the toggle button, it will automatically mark it as nofollow too. Because if it's sponsored, that means it's an affiliate link. If it's an affiliate link, it should be marked as nofollow. Those are Google's rules. The reason they came out with nofollow is because people used to be able to build backlinks to their own blog by going and commenting on other people's blogs, which was kind of cheating, right? Well, it was cheating because the link juice is supposed to be passed from a reputable source to another source, and you're borrowing some of that reputable source's reputation with Google, right? But when it was a comment, it wasn't actually the reputable source giving your blog the nod of approval. It was you giving your blog a nod of approval through that reputable source, if that makes sense. So that's why Google came out with this. I don't know. I think it was like 15 years ago, maybe at this point. Gosh, I'm old. I saw a question up here. Janet says, when we link to other blogs with a high DA, does that help our blog? It does. So Google likes to see that you are linking out to reputable sources, high quality sources. Google, if it doesn't give you as much credit as if they link out to you. Like that would be a big win for you. However, you don't want Google to see you linking out to a whole bunch of shady sites. It's kind of like when you are in high school and you're hanging out with a whole bunch of troublemakers, maybe if you're not a troublemaker, the administration is still going to paint you with the same brush. Does that make sense? So, uh, Google kind of pays attention to who you're hanging out with to figure out if you are a trustworthy source. Yeah, Janet says I always check open in a new tab too. Yeah, and we can talk about that in a second. So when you mark that no follow, it doesn't pass the link juice. You're not giving it the nod of approval. Why would you ever do that? Again, in the case of affiliate links, you should always do that. But let's say you are just making a reference to pop culture or something as a side note in your blog, and you want to link out to a piece of pop culture that doesn't actually have something to do with that topic. So let's say you're talking about how to go viral on social media. And within that post, which is about social media marketing, you link out to Charlie Bit My Finger. Charlie Bit My Finger, while it's a great example of something going viral, in Google's eyes, that doesn't actually have anything to do with social media marketing. So you would want to make that a no follow link. Yeah, Janet says, so we should only be linking out to good sites. Absolutely. Yeah, don't link out to shady sites. Um, and if you do, for whatever reason, if you really have to, and I can't imagine why, but if you really do need to link out to a shady site, make sure it's a no follow. Okay, so an external blog link is when you are making a hyperlink that goes from your blog to another website. Is everybody cool on what an external link is? And this is an often the value of linking out to high quality websites that are not your own is often overlooked in blog post writing. High quality external links can add value for your readers. They can give your post more authority. Adding in reputable links to back up your arguments show that you're not just shooting from the hip, right? The opinion you formed is an educated one. External links can help you network. I'm not saying this happens by itself, like you're going to link out to um I don't know, Neil Patel, and then he's going to reach out to you and be your best friend. But it could happen. So there are SEO managers that pay attention to where their links are coming from, and sometimes it can provide networking opportunities as part of a backlink building strategy, which I said we weren't going to talk about, but just go with me on this tangent real quick. You could link out to a reputable source and then email that reputable source and be like, hey, I really love your article on XYZ. I included it as a reference in my new blog post. I would love it if you shared it with your audience. I do wish, yeah. He says you wish. I do wish that Neil Patel would be my best friend. Oh, Janet says, what if it's a new site and not shady? Or is it better to only link to sites with a high DA? I mean, a high DA is helpful, but I would say linking out to a new site doesn't hurt you. I link out to new sites all the time, right? Or younger blogs, let's say that. I link out to younger blogs all the time. Just as long as they've not been painted with the like spam brush or untrustworthy brush by Google, you're okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with um, linking out to a source that's a newer blog, as long as it is a valuable resource that's going to help your readers. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No, it won't. It won't hurt you. Yeah, and then also linking out to other sources that are not your own shows your readers that you're here to help them, regardless of whether or not that means sending them to another website. Right? Like, oh, this person is not afraid to send me to somebody else to make sure I get all of the information I need. You're building that trustworthiness with them. And really, the point of a blog post is, well, one, to move your business forward, because we don't write blog posts for no reason, right? Two, to provide value to your readers. You're providing some sort of transformation for them. Why did they type the thing into Google? whatever they typed in. What are they struggling with? Your blog post should help them solve that struggle. General rule of thumb for external links. This varies depending on who you talk to, but usually the consensus falls somewhere around 3 to 5 external links per 1,000 words. There's an exception for thing like roundup posts, which roundup posts, are a collection, and there's going to be a lot of links in roundup posts. Um, this isn't a hard and fast rule. If you can't organically get 3 to 5 links, like where it makes sense in every 1,000 words, don't do it. Don't force it. If you are doing, let's say, a really statistic heavy post, you might need way more than that. Because anytime you put a statistic down, you should be citing it, right? So if you have a section that's 500 words long and there's 5 statistics in it, you're going to have to externally link 5 times. So there are exceptions to that rule. Examples of times when you would link out for a product you're reviewing. Again, if it's an affiliate link, make sure that you are doing a new window, sponsored, Nofollow. When you are doing products, just another side tangent here. When you're doing products, don't only include products you're affiliates for. That's super shady. Right? If you are like, let's say you are doing the top 10 sewing machines on the market and you compile organically, you're listing out the top 10 sewing machines that just rock socks. And you don't have affiliate links for 5 of them, include them anyway. Anyway, off my soapbox. Statistics or quotes sources, we already talked about that. So anytime you provide a statistic, you should be linking out to the source. Anytime you provide a quote, you should be linking out to the source. Again, that might be a time where you would use a nofollow link. So let's say that I quote Moz.com as a blogger who blogs about blog writing. I link out to the article where they said whatever I quote. It would make sense if that was a do follow. Like, hey, Google, their content has a lot to do with what I'm talking about. That makes sense. Let's say I'm quoting Joan Rivers, and it makes sense when you're reading my blog post, but my blog about blog writing and Joan Rivers' website they don't actually have that much in common, if anything at all. That would be an example of a time when we would want to use a nofollow link. Again, articles or studies that back up your argument. We're not just shooting from the hip here. We've made an educated opinion based on all of our research, and you want to strengthen your argument by linking out to your sources that helped you form your opinion. Okay, internal blog links. So an internal blog link. Well, okay, you guys let me know. Do you have any questions about external links before I move on? Let me know. Internal blog link is when you link from your post to another post on your blog. So on the same website. When you do this, it helps Google understand what each post is about and what your site is about as a whole. So if you've ever heard the term topic clusters are, let's say you have one big giant pillar post. You did a post on how to start a blog. That is going to be a giant pillar post, a really long post. And then there's going to be all these other little or smaller in comparison posts around it that support that post. So you could have one giant post on how to start a blog, and then you could have another post on how to pick a niche, how to pick a blog name, how to register a domain, how to set up hosting, how to get started on WordPress, right? And then you have this cluster of topics that are all kind of about starting a blog. You would want to interlink all of those posts together. that helps Google understand that these posts all revolve around one topic or all share a similar topic. They share a similar theme. And it encourages site crawlers and indexing. So when you link, so let's say your how to start a blog post is doing really well, you're getting lots of traffic to it. When you link from that post to your blog post on how to register a domain name, you are encouraging site crawlers and indexing. So all this helps SEO. It also helps readers navigate towards content that is relevant to them really effortlessly, right? So it benefits user experience. And really, anytime you benefit user experience, you are also benefiting SEO. So Google search engine algorithms, they're computers. They can't understand human emotions and and feelings the way we can. So they rely on these little signals to understand whether or not the user is having a good experience. One of those signals is session duration. How once they click on your website, how long are they staying on your website? So if they click on your website, they go over to Google and they type in how to start a blog. They click on your post. If they stay for 5 seconds and bounce right off, that is a signal to Google that they didn't have a good user experience for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't do a good job providing value to the topic. It wasn't what they were looking for. Maybe you have so many ads all over the place that they can't even read the content. And again, hey, another soapbox here, ads are not bad. Ads get a really bad rap and I don't like it. Ads are totally fine. It's a totally legitimate way to make money with your blog, just within reason. Make it so they don't interrupt the content. If you can read your content, you're good. Okay, back off the soapbox. So here, this is why Amy was saying that I believe everything should open in a new window is controversial, because when you open in a new window, that counts as a new session. So you're truncating that session duration. So let's say I link out from my blog post or how to start a blog 101 pillar blog post to how to register a domain name, and I don't have it open in a new window. That session duration increases, which signals to Google, hey, they're liking this. However, and this is my opinion, I think the user experience is better when it opens in a new window. And is gaining that session duration really worth the lack of user experience? You get to decide that for yourself. Yeah, that's so interesting. Amy says it's super controversial how to link out. Most organizations I've worked for actually have a policy for whether or not to do this and when. 100%. Yes. And you guys get to decide for yourself, right? I'm just here to present you with what I know, and you get to decide for yourself. And in the end, is this going to make or break your SEO? It, like, let's say you're doing everything else right for SEO, you're going to be okay regardless of whether or not you have it open a new window, right? If you're doing everything else on the up and up for SEO, you're giving it the old college effort. This will not make or break it, right? Janet says, I was just typing out about user experience right when you said it. I hate when I'm on a blog and I have to keep hitting the back button. Yes, right? Well, and that's my preference too. So it's entirely possible that it, my opinion that it should always open in a new window is just based on my own personal bias. I hate that as a user. But there are obviously lots of SEOs out there that would disagree with me, and they do it different. And that's okay. Two things can be true at once. We can hold opposing opinions in our head, right? Yeah, Amy says most orgs will say internally do not open in a new window, externally do open in a new window. Yeah, but you can't do that on a well, one, how many okay, I'm sorry, I'll read to you guys what I'm responding to. Amy says hold down the control button when you click on it and it will open in a new tab. 100%. Can you do that on a phone? Like, I guess if you did a long hold, and then also like how many people are going to do that? The average user. Just thoughts. Nothing. It's not right or wrong. Rashonda says if I'm on a site and it opens in the same window, I go back and open it in a new window myself. Okay, Amy says yes, long press, open a new tab. Nice. That's good to know. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I think it'd be really interesting. Maybe we'll do a poll in the group to see what everybody prefers. And I could probably rustle up some more information on this for you guys. Like I said, my job is to just present you guys with all the information, and you make your own decision. You're the boss. You are the boss. Yep. Willow says it depends if you are a million tab person or a two tabs person. Two tabs make me Twitch person. Yep. Guess which one I'm in? I'm the million tab person. Because if I don't have the tabs, I'll forget and I'll never come back. Okay. There's our hot button topic of the day. So again, how Control K or Command K on Mac. And another tip for internal linking, it's better to add them near the top. That is your prime real estate above the fold. So that's a newspaper reference for all you kids out there. Newspapers have a crease in the middle of them. And what is above that crease is the most valuable real estate on the newspaper. It's the same thing with a website. Anything that is above where you have to scroll is your prime real estate, and Google recognizes that. Search engines recognize that anything above where a user would have to scroll is going to be important information because it's prime real estate. That is why using your keyword in upper level headings and in your introduction and in your title, if you can, without making it sound weird and robotic, is encouraged. The closer up to the top, the more, again, Google is a computer trying to understand human actions. So us humans are putting the information near the top. We're putting internal links near the top of our blog posts. That's signaling to Google, the computer, that this is really important information and this is highly relevant to what I'm talking about right now. So if you can link out to a relevant blog post of yours within your introduction organically, again, if the opportunity arises, take that opportunity. It looks like we all have a million tabs open. And then sometimes I just have to close them all. And inevitably I lose something I wanted to read. Okay, so examples of internal links. If there's a next logical step for your reader, this especially applies in how-to series. So let's say you're doing a blog post on how to make a raised garden bed, right? How to DIY a raised garden bed. The next logical step would probably be either picking a soil or picking your plants, right? Choosing garden plant varieties. That would be an example of an internal link you would want to include that is a next logical step. Link to any information they might need as a prerequisite for understanding the topic. This is your opportunity to link out to something all the time in your introduction that has something to do with it. So in the case of, well, let's say that you are writing a blog post on how to get a blog host, right? How to set up blog hosting. A prerequisite to that would be a domain, how to register a domain. So you could say something along the lines of, so you've got your domain name domain name registered and now you're looking to set up hosting. Where do you go? The domain name registered could be a hyperlink to your blog post about how to register a domain name. Also, any posts that explain topics in greater detail. So let's go back to our pillar blog post example. We're writing a very long blog post on how to start a blog. And there's a million steps, as you all know. You don't want to, you can't do each step an extreme amount of justice in one blog post. So you could do it enough justice to get them where they need to go in your pillar blog post, and then say something along the lines of, if you want to know everything there is to know about registering a domain name, I have a blog post, Domain Names 101, right here. So you're linking out to your own blog post that covers a very specific topic in depth from your pillar blog post. Okay, and I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve to make internal linking easier. So one, there is a plugin called Link Whisper. I saw that you guys were using that. I put a link to it in this video description. I saw that a lot of you were using that. I've been looking at it. It is a paid plugin. So I don't know. Let's pull it up. I've got it pulled up here. Let's see how much it is. I think it's like $80 or something. So I was looking at it. I wasn't sure. Where's the pricing? Let's click get started, I guess. Okay, single site license, $77. It's a yearly fee. Amy, you use it, right? You like it? 3 site license, 117, 10 site license, 167. So if you got lots of blogs, you're still good to go. And what this does is it uses the taxonomy on your site. So you've assigned categories to all your blog posts. Oh, good. Amy likes it a lot. That's awesome. It uses the taxonomy, and then it also, Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it uses keywords too, doesn't it? Like that's how it works. Like it searches your site for opportunities. So it sees a keyword in one blog post and it's like, hey girl, you have a blog post about this over here. And it suggests that link for you. Correct? So that's pretty sweet. It pretty much does the work for you. Another option is reusable blocks. So I was doing something like this for a while. Yes, that's right. Amy says it will auto find some opportunities for you. You can accept or reject them. Yeah, it's not just going to create them for you willy nilly, which would be bad. Okay, let me see. Let me see my reusable blocks. Let's see. I'm scrolling through all my reusable blocks right now. So I used to do this. I would create a reusable blocks. This is in WordPress. I would create a reusable block that had all of my posts on one category already written out and linked to. And so when I was writing a post within that category, I would just pull up the reusable block. All of my links were there, and I would just decide which ones I wanted to use for that post. So, like on my website, I have blog writing basics, blog writing SEO, and blog writing improvement. So, if I was writing a blog post about internal and external blog links, I would want to pull up my reusable block that has all of my links for blog post SEO on it. And I'd look at it and decide which ones I want to include in this blog post. So here we are in WordPress. It would look something like this. Let's say the title of the blog post is Blog Post SEO Checklist. And then I also have another blog post on blog post meta descriptions. And then I have one on blog post alt descriptions. right? So let's say I have these 3 posts within my blog post SEO category. What I would do is I would create the hyperlink to them once. Let's just say it's https forward slash forward slash, oops, I got an extra T in there. Blogfeedy.com forward slash SEO checklist. That doesn't actually exist, but let's just say it did. I would create this reusable block. And how you do that is you select them and then you click the ellipses and then you go add to reusable blocks. And then I would title it. How do I change the title? It's not letting me do it. I would title it something that you can remember. So internal links, blog post SEO, right? Internal links, your category that includes all these. So that's a free way to do it if you need an easy reusable way to link out to blog posts that you link out to all of the time. You can also do this manually, which is what I do now. And I usually pull up my insanely efficient blog organizer when I'm doing this. Oh, that's a really good idea, Amy. You're so smart. Amy says, any of my reusable blocks, I also add the word reusable to the end so I can search for them. That's such a good idea. Okay, so I go over to my insanely efficient blog post organizer. This is the main copy, so it's blank. But I go down to my blog post organizer, which is where I keep the published ones. And I have blog post title, blog post category. So I just look, I can sort it by blog post category. So if I was writing something in the category of blog post basics, I could sort this sheet by blog writing basics and see all of my related posts. And then I just choose which ones. And then I have the URL right there in my insanely efficient blog organizer. So I do it manually now, but I don't know, link whisper sounding pretty good. Anytime you can save some time there, right? Well, and not only that, it's not just about saving time, it helps you spot opportunities that you might miss, that you might overlook. So it helps you spot opportunities for blog posts. Yeah, Janet. Janet says, anyone know why I'm not able to see the comments in the chat unless they're free and come back to the app? I'm on my laptop. Yeah, because Facebook's been janky for about 3 weeks now. Around the time Facebook had that big crash, the same thing happened to me. I have to touch my screen if I want. I keep my phone here so I can see your guys' comments. And I have to touch it if I want to see the comments. It used to just show them to me. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's another explanation. Maybe it's a setting somewhere. I'm not sure. Okay, so to make internal linking a little bit easier, use reusable blocks, link whisper, or you can do it manually. You don't have to use the insanely efficient blog organizer if you have like a list of them somewhere else, right? I'm not saying you have to use that product. You can keep a list anywhere. You could keep a list in a Google Doc if you wanted to. Um, some sort of it just have some sort of reference because like clicking through WordPress to get all of your URLs, that is a super time suck, total waste of time. You don't want to be playing around with that. Okay, so general linking tips: use a broken link checker and make link auditing part of your blog post maintenance tasks. So audit for broken links. There, if you go to Google and you type in broken link checker, you can either use websites that will crawl your site for broken links, or you can get a plugin for your WordPress. If you have Ahrefs, and actually probably a lot of other SEO tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, etc. I know for sure Ahrefs has a broken link checker if you pay for it. Actually, I think it's free. Ahrefs has a free plan. I'm pretty sure the broken link checker is part of that free plan. So go check that out. It's ahrefs.com. Make that part of your blog post maintenance. Additionally, audit your links to make sure when you're linking out to information, audit those links to make sure the information is still relevant. So, especially if you work in a fast-paced niche where things change all the time, I have to do this a lot. And I have little ticklers set up in my calendar to go and audit particular blog posts to make sure that the information I'm providing and the information I'm linking out to is still relevant for the current time, because you know what? Blogging changes really fast. We all know that, right? Um, yes. Okay. And then also a real quick note, and I don't want to overwhelm you guys with this, but don't over optimize anchor text. Anchor text is the words that you turn into a hyperlink. So let's head on back over here to WordPress. So we created a hyperlink that says blog post SEO checklist. Over optimization of a anchor text would be, say you link out to your blog post SEO checklist from 200 different blog posts and they all say blog post SEO checklist as the anchor text. That would be an example of over optimization. Google kind of caught on to that as a way to like game the SEO system, and they kind of frown upon it now. So just again, if you are doing everything else right and you accidentally over optimize your anchor text, it's not going to make or break your SEO. It's just something to keep an eye on. So I included a quote for you guys in this video description from Moz, and I included the source to that blog post as well. But they say use descriptive keywords and anchor text that reflect the same topic or keywords as the target page is trying to target. It's not necessary to use the same keyword text every time. In fact, doing so can trigger spam detectors. Instead, strive for a variety of anchor text that enhances context and usability for your readers and for search engines as well. So you can use what they mean by that is that you can use related keywords. You could just use the word checklist at some point, SEO checklist at some point, and then the whole blog post SEO checklist at some point. Just switch it up a little bit, right? Don't use the same exact target keyword over and over and over and over. Okay, and then again, mark affiliate links as Nofollow and sponsored. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, Willow says the organizer you have is amazing to find links. Thank you. I'm really glad you're liking it. I'm glad you're enjoying that. That was my own. I had no intention of making a product when I made that. That was what I used to organize my blog because I was wasting so much time tracking down my links all the time for various reasons. And finally, I made one giant spreadsheet for everything I needed. And then you guys saw it and asked me where you could get it. And then I made it pretty. Okay. Does anybody have any links? I got links on the brain. Does anybody have any questions about internal or external links? Yeah, Amy says, yeah, that's how one of my first products happened too. Yeah, 100%. It's funny. Any questions? Any thoughts? Maybe we'll do a poll in the group about the hot button topic of open in a new window for internal links or non. We're so controversial in this group. New windows, they're so hot right now. All right, friends, thanks for joining me for our internal and external blog links 101. That was a lot of fun for me. I totally nerded out. Thanks for coming with me on this dorky journey. If y'all need anything, you know where to find me. Tag me in the group. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.